Mercedes Moné haters won't like this, and this is what's going on. Now, Mercedes Moné, she is continuing to collect championships. This woman is up to 12. Now, most recently, she won the WPW. Now, at the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view event, what did AEW do? They did something quite interesting because they kept it open-ended. They were like, oh, she's going to face a champion. And it's like, oh, okay. And so what do? They get Mina Shirakawa out there, and she wins the prestigious interim ROH TV championship. Yep, she did so. Now, look, there have been fans who have mocked Monet for the level of championships that she's won, right? Like the most prestigious, obviously, being in AEW with the TBS title and the Rev Pro title and everything like that, right? There are some credible championships. There's others that are just from independence, right? No knock on them, but like it's independence versus, the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, AEW. So it's like, whatever. But Monet, I love what she did on social afterwards. It's freaking hilarious, and it gives shine to what she's doing. But Monet, she achieved another milestone in her career. Okay. And this is what the haters won't like because, look, is Mercedes Monet everyone's cup of tea? No. Is she the greatest wrestler in the world? That's arguable. Is she the greatest promo in the world? Not even close. Is she the most over? No, right? I would say Toni Storm is a bigger star than her in AEW. I would say Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch and Stephanie Valker and Io Sky and all of these, and Tiffany Stratton. All of these talents are bigger names than Mercedes Moné. But what Mercedes Moné has done in the industry, the way that she's changed the industry, she caused the women's revolution and the evolution and all of the stereotypes, right? Or all the taglines, I should say. My apologies. I think you have to give her credit for what she's been able to do in the industry. The only problem is it's caused a lot of negativity towards her. So when she does something like this, well, they don't like it. So she became the longest reigning AEW TBS champion in the title's history. She officially surpassed the inaugural dominant Jade Cargill's record-setting reign. Now, she's held the title for over 509 days. Jade's previous record was 508, okay? Now, Cargill defended the title 25 times. Thus far, to this date, Monet has defended the title 22 times. Okay, she's faced people like Chris Statlander and Sky Blue and Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker and Mina Shirakawa and Nyla Rose and Riho and all of these different people. Okay, some of those names pretty prestigious, right? Some top tier names. Here's just a few of the titles that she holds right now. CMLL Women's World Title, Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Champion, the Queen of the Southside Championship, Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship, EWA Women's Championship from Australia, PTW Women's World Champion from Poland, Bestia Women's Championship from Italy, Body Slam Women's Champion from Denmark. So, as you can see, there's a lot of interesting names to these championships, right? I think what Mercedes Moné is doing in AEW, it needs to lead to something, okay? I thought they were building towards a rematch at a later date between Timeless Toni Storm, our then women's world champion, and Mercedes Moné. Okay, they had the inaugural showdown for the TBS title the inaugural match for the women's world title, with Monet only being able to win the women's world title, Toni Storm not being able to win the TBS title. I thought they were leading towards a winner-take-all type match, right? At a later date between Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. However, as we all know, Timeless Toni Storm is no longer the women's world champion. So what do? Well, at Wrestle Dream, they teased a future match which looks to be setting up for Full Gear next month in November between Chris Statlander, our women's world champion, and Mercedes Moné. Now, a lot of people on social media complained about this, and I thought, well, let's see where this goes, because after Chris Statlander worked a really good match with Toni Storm at the longest pay-per-view of my lifetime at Wrestle Dream, outside of All Out, of course, they had Mone come out there and basically tell, Statlander, get out of my ring. And a lot of people thought, well, Mone is just burying Chris Statlander. It's like, okay, y'all need to calm down. Then, after Mone beat Mina, won the interim ROH Women's World TV title. That's a shoot, folks. That's a real title. And then you had Chris Statlander come out there and they laid out Mone. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, Chris got her comeuppance. And I go, oh no, Chris is going to lose to Mone. Because the way that I look at this, I thought the decision to put the title on Chris Statlander was kind of out of the blue. Okay, why would you have her just randomly beat Toni Storm in a fatal 4-way? Then you book a rematch and she beats her clean. And then you had these interactions with Timeless Toni Storm. And so what I think is happening is they have Chris in a position where she is a transitional champion. She beat Timeless Toni Storm in a fatal 4-way. The story has been that Toni was, her confidence was down, her ego was down, she was not firing on all cylinders going into the Wrestle Dream event. She comes out of that completely dismantled, right? Shell shocked, just devastated. And so now she's going to go and be the inaugural women's tag team champions with Mina. That's the way that it looks like, right? And so why would you do that, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, Chris Statlander, she's over, but she's not like main event level, world champion, main event type talent. In my opinion, she's a great wrestler, but like, she's not a main eventer in my eyes. And so what I think is happening is they wanted to put the women's world title on Mone, and they did not have anyone who they saw could take the title off of her outside of Toni Storm. And so instead of, doing another match where Mone then beats Toni, what if you had Chris Statlander beat Toni Storm, and then you had Mone come in, beat Chris, and then later on, pick a date, right? Pick a pay-per-view event. AEW runs 10 a year. Pick a date, pick an event where Timeless Toni Storm comes in and then beats Mercedes Moné for the championship back, right? And that could lead to a third match. That could lead to a winner-take-all match, whatever you wanted to do, right? Like, that's something that you could do as well. So I think that's the reason they went with that. But yes, Mercedes Moné, she holds 12 titles as the recording of this video. She could hold more by the time you hear it. She's going to keep winning titles, y'all. Like, I expect her to have like 20 titles at this point. Because if she's just winning these like little, women's independent titles from Poland and Italy and all these other little countries, why not have her go around and be like, okay, does Defy have a women's world title? Does, House of Glory have a women's world title? Just various. I can see her get to 20. So I think that's where we're headed.